Welcome to Jayne's Luxury Rentals. We couldn't be more excited to have you a part of our team. So we've put together this instructional video outlining some best practices and how-tos. We're going to tour around our beautiful cottage Primrose and show you how we display things, turn items on, and make the cottage look the most warm and welcoming. So here's our little display that we've left out, as well as the binder with a little greeting signed by Jayne. And in the binder, on the first page is the contracts. So the first one is a COVID waiver that the guests would sign, just saying they haven't traveled, they haven't experienced symptoms, etc. And then the second waiver is a property waiver, just acknowledging that no noise, no smoking. Storms develop quickly, so put your patio furniture away if that is the case. Practice safe boating, etc. So these two waivers, the cottage manager is going to want to get the guests to sign and remember to take with them when they leave. The binder highlights and outlines all of the important features of the cottage. So you can reassure the guests as you're doing your tour, throughout your tour, and at the end of the tour, that if it's been information overload, they can always reference the binder to find all of the information. The 4 critical things to remember upon your greeting is the water, whether it is drinkable or not. Remind the guests that septic systems are sensitive and can only handle toilet paper. Wi-Fi and overages if the plan is not unlimited. And finally, where they are to store their garbage and where the nearest dump is located. Here is the starter supplies that we provide in our kitchen. So 1 roll of paper towel, some aluminum foil, a little sample of coffee. In this case, it's our Muskoka roast, as well as some garbage bags, recycling bags, dish soap, hand soap, and then we have some environmentally friendly dishwasher pots. So I will just display this out. And we can see here in this cottage, it already has some Method, which is actually the same brand, whoa, hello, the same brand that we supply. So I'm just gonna leave that there and save this for maybe another bathroom. But I will put out the dish soap beside it, paper towel there. I will put this just right beside. Our cleaners have already laid out the dish towels and dishcloths. They were here just earlier, so that's perfect. Everything is looking good. As I'm kind of laying everything out, I'm just looking to make sure, there's no crumbs. The cleaners were able to clean everything and it is ready to go. As well, we have garbage, recycling, and smaller garbage bags. Always just check under the sink first in case there's ample supply, which this owner has provided. In that case, I'm not going to leave any more garbage bags. I'm going to do a quick once over and make sure the cottage is looking pristine. So this includes opening the cutlery drawer, making sure there's no breadcrumbs, making sure our cleaners haven't forgotten. Any countertops. This little Halloween jar I might tuck away just because it looks a little cluttery. A really important thing is to check the fridge. We want to make sure that there are no stains, no food remnants left behind. I do see a little red stain, which is quite common and no problem at all. I'm just going to go grab a little paper towel and try and get that out. And ta-da, good as new. So just making sure this is nice and clean because nobody likes to open the fridge to some crumbs. So that is looking good. As well, the freezer, nice and empty with the ice. This one is looking great. We do remind our owners that everything must be taken out. When you're doing your quick look through of the kitchen, making sure everything's empty and clean, if there is a mini fridge, take note and just have a quick peek, make sure it's empty. If there is any alcohol left behind, it is technically fair games for the guests. So we tell our owners, if you want to leave a bottle of wine or something, that is nice and you definitely can. But if you leave your own beverages, we can't ensure that the guests aren't going to drink it. So just make sure that all of the mini fridges are clear of any alcohol. Coming out to the barbecue. For our guests, we like to take the cover off so that it's looking nice and ready for use. This barbecue is direct line, which is nice, so we didn't have to bring propane tanks. However, for our rentals, the first rental, the owner supplies 2 propane tanks, and then throughout the season, we replenish them. So after the first rental, we would take the empty 2 tanks back to 31, and we would bring 2 full ones for the next rental. Along with the 2 propane tanks, we also bring 2 water jugs. So if the water at the cottage is not drinkable, our owners supply a water jug filter, and it's the same system. So they supply 2 jugs at the beginning of the season, and we replenish them after each rental. And after the very last rental, we have 2 full ones waiting for them upon their return. Thankfully, the water at this cottage is drinkable, so we don't have to bring the 2 water jugs, we don't have to worry about it, and we also didn't have to worry about 2 propane tanks because it has a direct gas line. We supply 4 rolls per bathroom. They come like this. I like to take the wrapping off, especially for our super elite cottages, just because it looks a bit nicer, less hotel-like. If you come in here, you can see that we actually already have one from a previous rental. So if that's the case, then we only need to supply 3 rolls. Now I'll just do a nice little triangle format. And then for each bathroom as well, we have a sign that says nothing but toilet paper goes down. In our greetings as one of the first things, just so guests are aware that if they cause any damages, they are fully responsible. We like to make sure that we do put these signs on the back of the toilet so that it is a constant reminder each and every time someone uses the bathroom, just because it can be easy to forget. So I will move the toilet paper down and just leave that sign right there. Then for our soaps, this is actually a brand that we carry as well, or that we supply in our cottages, so it is full. I'm gonna leave it right here and save the soap for this bathroom for another. So when I was setting up this bathroom, I noticed that our little bear here has seen better days. He's cracked, he's broken, he looks like he's been glued together. Something like this, our property team is going to record and make note of so that they understand that the guests did not make this damage. But just in case they missed it, I'm gonna take a picture so that I know before the guests arrive, this is a pre-existing damage and there's no discrepancy with the owner at the end of the rental. I'm coming into the bedroom, going to the bathroom to put out our supplies. The cleaners have the bedding out, which is nice, just making sure, you know, there's no stray hairs or, heaven forbid, mouse poo. We have found that even on freshly made beds, mouse poo. So I'm just gonna double check, make sure it's all looking pristine. I am noticing a little bit of dust on the bedside table there, so I'm gonna go and grab a cloth just to wipe that off. So I'm gonna come, wipe this off. As well, I'm going to turn on the light. Oh, it is already on. Perfect, so it is nice and cozy for when they come in. I also noticed as well, the owners must have forgotten their Apple Watch charger. So this is something we want to definitely make note of, because if the guests happen to use it or it goes missing, then the owner may come asking where it is. So I'm going to take this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of this just so that I know and have record that it was left behind, and I'm going to put it in the owner's bedside table on top of these 2 books here. That way, if the guest finds it and uses it, well, we know it was left here beforehand. For bathrooms that are larger than a powder room and have a shower or a tub, and for our super elite cottages, we have full-size shampoo and conditioners that we like to either arrange here, or I could even put it here. You have the towel there. Move them a bit closer. As well, we have little facial bars of soap that I will display on these face cloths. As well, we don't have any soap out here already, so I'm going to put 2 bottles right here, and then I'm going to tuck the owner's bottle in under. As well, I'm going to place our trusty sign on the back of the toilet just as another friendly reminder that nothing but toilet paper goes down. In this bathroom, our cleaners have already laid out the hand towels and face cloths, which is excellent. I see here that there's already a full jug of soap, so I'm not going to put mine out again, but I will add the little facial bars. I will leave out 2 right there and right there. And then I'm going to add the full shampoo and conditioner bottle. I'm just going to set that right here and take our bath mat and drape it over the side of the tub. It looks a little bit cleaner than just leaving it on the floor. One thing I do notice is the toilet paper is empty, like it looks like it's been used. So I'm just going to take it off and put a fresh, brand new one there. Even fold it in a nice little triangle, just to give it that extra elite touch. So I'm just coming in the bedrooms, checking that, you know, the top drawers, closet little space is empty for the guests. There's no dirty socks, hair elastics, as well as just making sure everything is crisp. Towels are all laid out. This is looking good. So this is looking clean, no dust bunnies. Looking in there, nothing. It's also important to figure out if the owners are comfortable with the guests having indoor fires. Typically, this isn't something you would do in the summer, but some of our guests have requested to have fires if they are wood burning. So make sure you check with the owner if they are comfortable with this, and then where they would store the wood if they are. One thing to note as well in the summer, and guests can always contact their cottage manager, is fire bans. So if there is a fire ban in the area, it is important to reiterate that to your guests so that they are not faced with a hefty fine. I have our eco-friendly laundry detergent strips that I'm going to leave out here. They have our label on them. We typically recommend to our owners that they put away all their own soaps, because if they leave it out, we can't guarantee the guests are not going to use it. So in this case, I am going to tuck it away so that the guests do not use all of their supplies. So I am noticing a part of the laundry room here, we have this owner storage. I'm seeing, you know, a saw, an either airsoft gun or pellet gun. Typically, we would tell the guests they have access to the laundry, and this is off limits. They are not allowed to access, but no one is watching them during their whole stay, so we cannot guarantee these items are not going to get used. We recommend to our owners that any items of importance that they don't want guests touching, they lock away. So I am going to remove the gun, the saw, any other dangerous items that we want to avoid guests tampering with, and put that in lock storage. I'm here now in the mechanical room / owner additional storage. You see here there is a second fridge freezer, which is not accessible to the guests. This is where our owners would put any items like condiments that they want to save for their return. So they would just simply store it in here. As well, the mechanical room, you can show the guests, because if there is a power outage or something of that nature, I see the Wi-Fi modem is located right there. You can just tell them this is where to access that. However, everything else is off limits. This system conveniently is quite simple. So I'm going to turn on the monitor, and then I'm going to turn on the Apple TV. It is a best practice that we as cottage managers do this prior to the guest's arrival, just to ensure everything is running seamlessly and it is easily accessible for them to operate. Another thing that I will mention and note is typically we recommend to our owners that they log out of their Apple TV, their Netflix, their Crave, Amazon Prime, because the guests can rent movies, make purchases. So just to make things easier, we ask our owners to log out of all of their systems. Some of our cottages feature sound systems, and in this case, they have the Sonos. So simply download the Sonos app, and then it will recognize where each speaker is and in which room. In this case, we have the kitchen, dining room, great room, the basement, and even the patio Muskoka room. So to play, I will simply select basement, hit play. Okay. And there we have it in full volume, playing in the basement. Just coming into the bathroom, we've got everything laid out. Our cleaners have so nicely displayed the towels on the racks, on the counter. Here, they even do nice little folds of our toilet paper. They work so hard and tirelessly to make sure everything is pristine and perfect, so that is excellent. And here is a perfect example of our white linen program. So this cottage, Primrose, is on the white linen program, meaning we provide all the towels and the linens. There are only a select few cottages in the super elite category where the owners have the option whether to use our program or to supply the linens and towels themselves. This bedroom is displayed so perfectly, I wouldn't change anything. If there was, a fold or a pillowcase that was inside out, we would simply just fix it. Our cleaners work tirelessly all day and sometimes into the late night to get the job done, so we really appreciate the hard work they do, and it is no problem if there's something that we need to fix, because that's what we're here for. Out here in this beautiful Muskoka room, we have a gas fireplace. Some of our cottages have propane, some have gas. Whichever it is, the cottage managers, we like to make sure that it works before the guests arrive. So for this one, I've read the instructions, and simply you're to turn the switch and voila, we have light. Oh, heat. If the fireplace is wood burning, it is important to learn from the owner how to use the flue or the damper and then relay that information to the guest. Simply because some guests are unaware and unfamiliar with wood burning fireplaces, so to ensure we don't have to call the fire station, we will teach them how to use it. Well, this isn't applicable here at Primrose. If this lounger was to be outside in the sun, in the elements, not under a Muskoka room or a canopy, it's very important to check with the owners to see if they would like their cushions brought in either nightly, or if it just when it rains, or if they don't even really care at all. If they would like it brought in nightly, or when there's inclement weather, just make sure that you learn where they want it kept so that you can relay that information to the guest. As well, it is important to ensure that if it does rain or a storm brews, that the screens in any Muskoka room are closed as well. Some of our cottages have the amenity of a hot tub. In this case, Primrose, their hot tub is located over here. It's important as a cottage manager to just check the hot tub, make sure there's no green algae growing, leaves, frogs, that is looking pristine, so when the guests arrive, it is running and looks very inviting. Over here you can notice some hot tub chemicals. It's important to relay to the guests that they aren't to tamper with the measurements and the chemicals unless there's specific instructions left for them by the owner. To elaborate on the fourth important point of garbage, it's important to learn where your closest land transfer station is so that the guests are aware of where they can dump their garbage. As for storage on the property, it's also very important that you emphasize to them no garbage can be left on any patios, Muskoka rooms, anywhere outside, because it will attract uninvited guests. If the cottage has garbage pickup, It is also vital that you relay this information to the guests and emphasize that if it is Thursday mornings or Wednesday mornings, that they do not put it out the night before. Yes, they will have to get up early and put it out, but this is to avoid waking up to a complete disaster. Once the guest is all settled in their cottage and you have reiterated to them that all the information you have just said is in the binder, you can now leave. You can take the remaining cottage supplies that you didn't use back to 31, and that can be used for another rental. Thank you so much. We are so excited you were part of the team and can't wait for another great rental season ahead.